using my last few of those.
So bad that I kind of feel like putting my speakers on.
Just for old time's sake.
Right.
Yes.
What's up, everybody? Let's try this. This is take two. Two. It was my fault. I thought it was Matt. We were trying to blame Matt, but it's not Matt. It was my fault.
All along.
Yeah. See down in the lower left corner where the live chat is? Well, you have to put the last part of the link into that in order for it to connect to the chat. It doesn't do it automatically. So I did that. And I went to hit the X and must have hit the minus sign and minimized the screen instead of closing it, and the podcast was just running a loop.
Yes, finally.
Sweet.
It's not my fault for once.
No, it's
fair,
not
I thought
your
it was
fault.
your fault from the start.
Yeah, very much so. So, if anybody is still in the old chat room that wants to throw a link to this one, that would be great. It's kind of funny because we had already 75 views on the test one. So,
Yeah.
I'm with Super Cooper. Blame Canada. All right, guys, welcome. We're only a half hour late, which means we're on time.
Yeah.
Right.
All right, welcome to the original Next Level Gaming Podcast, episode 100.
Woo!
Woohoo! I cannot believe we have made it that far, actually.
100 and a half.
100 100.1. So welcome in, everybody, and I want to welcome in a special guest for tonight. He has been a host for a bit on the NLG podcast, and we had to have him come back on and hang out with us tonight. Mr. Matthew Jones. What's up, Matt?
Welcome
Hey,
back.
what's going on, guys?
Welcome
I miss
back.
every single one of you guys.
We miss you, too. Welcome back. Welcome back. So how are you doing?
I am doing great. I am gaming as always. Got Scorpio Xbox One X first day, and I'm enjoying it, especially in 4K.
Yeah, what games you got?
Oh, you name it, I probably have it. I have. Oh my gosh!
All right. So what were you playing? What was the most you were playing?
I finished South Park and Fractured Butthole, and now I have to do it on hardest difficulty. And now I'm playing Call of Duty.
All right. Very
Nice.
cool. Nice. Well, welcome to the show. So we're gonna go in a little hair of an overdrive, just because again this was my fault. So I'm gonna make sure I step it up and keep us on point, because I know some of us have to work tomorrow. So Matt, good to have you with us. Peter, what's going on, brother? How you doing?
Doing fantastic.
100.
It's some cool, 100 episodes. I forgot what episode I joined, but
It's
glad to be here and be on the 100th, and hopefully you'll be here at the 200th episode.
I think you've been here almost. If you haven't been here a year, I'm going to be surprised. I think it's been about a year.
It's been about a year.
Yeah, close to. So
Yeah. So what have you been up to?
Finished Call of Duty on veteran mode, so that was cool.
Nice.
Nice.
The challenge is like, it's not getting harder in the sense of like more enemies or sneaky enemies, but it just takes less shots to get you killed. That was pretty much it. And but yeah, fantastic story. It's cool to replay or go through the campaign again, because you pick up on certain things that later on you discover, and now you see like references all the way at the beginning of the first episode. It's just cool.
Nice.
So yeah, awesome game.
Nice.
And last night we played some
DR4.
Dead Rising 4. Played some and also some golf in it. I mean, you and I, we played solo.
Yeah, so we
could
got
hear
to
like,
see-
hey, I scored
yeah.
an eagle, and it was like, hey.
Yeah, the season
And,
pass is on sale for
season
$4.
pass.
So
Yeah, $4.
Peter
That's
was
like,
kind enough to gift it to me. Thank you. And yeah, we played some mini golf. It is kind of cool.
Yeah, it's kind of cool.
So-
Definitely want to play that some more, and then play head to head. So that'll be pretty cool.
Is that more than 2?
I think it's 4.
'Cause I own
Yeah, I
that,
think
so
it's
I can
4.
get on that.
Okay. And then
Yeah.
we're gonna get started with the Frank's. What was it? Frank's.
Yeah,
Frank
I
Rising.
forgot what it's called.
Frank
Rising. Yeah, I started that too. It's pretty cool.
Awesome.
So,
Oh, yeah. Matt's got the Game Pass, which, by the way, I think is it still on sale? I think it's still on sale.
oh,
I
for
think
$1.
it's off
Yeah,
that
for
price.
$1. I might have to get on that and play a couple games before it's all said and done.
Yeah,
I might give it away to one of our lucky audience members at the end of a podcast.
Nice.
nice,
Matt. Sweet. Excellent.
Sweet months.
All right. Juan, what's happening?
Oh, same old gaming, working, gaming some more.
Nice. Yeah, working.
No hitting deer.
Got to do it. No, so far, and they seem to have stopped their persecution of me. They're no longer. I'm not seeing them nightly in the new car, so that's good. Not that I've let my guard down yet, but yeah, I've been playing a lot of Forza. Looking forward to the next. Might as well say now. I'm going to take a little hiatus from the Forza race nights just till the other side of the holiday. So not Saturday, but the Saturday after. I'm thinking for the next Forza race night, and we're moving that to a Saturday from Tuesday, so maybe we can get a little better turnout. Love the people who showed up, had a lot of good fun, but I think Tuesday may not be the best for getting people in. So we're going to be looking at Saturday, same time, 8:45 p.m. Everybody's welcome, and we'll get back to that as it gets a little closer. I've been playing a ton of Ark because I got back into that on the X, and it's so much better on the X. It's ridiculous, and it's about to get even better according to something I saw today. But that Mike shared with me. But so it's real good. And since cloud saves and my X is currently out for repair or replacement due to a fan issue, I've been playing it on the One, and it's definitely feeling rough compared to the X. But it's still, I mean, I played it that way for a good portion of a year. So yeah, it's good fun. That, and I was Xbox Santa Claus visited me as well and dropped Battle Chasers in my lap, and it's fantastic. I'm a good 6-7 hours into it, and it's totally worthwhile for anyone who wants something that's kind of a throwback to the great era of JRPGs. It's got that turn-based, great artwork, great animation, interesting characters. Yeah, I'm all about it. I love Calibretto. Calibretto's my dude.
Nice. Awesome.
Going back to Forza, did you do the Forza-thon?
I did. Yeah, I completed
Nice.
those.
Yeah.
It was a little bit buggy here and there. We'll see if it gets a little better because I had a problem with if I didn't do things in the, like, for example, the autocross things, right? It
Yeah.
said do 3 autocrosses, but you have to do them in the order that they are.
Well, and another thing is, like, what I had to do is I had to quit the game and come back in. And then they showed up, and I had to do the same thing. Like, I completed it, I saw the achievement, but the car did not unlock, or the helmet, whatever it was for that one. I had to get out of the game, come back in, and then, then it showed up. So, yeah. Buggy.
I'm sure they'll get it worked out. It was the first time they've done that with the Motorsport series, so I'm sure it'll get there.
True.
Yeah.
But I did like the kind of more, because they had to change it up some from Forza from Horizon because of the different type of racing it is. But I did like that it was a longer, kind of drawn out thing that you could do, as opposed to just one night, one challenge, and be done with it.
Right. Yeah, it was kind of cool. The little different steps to complete one of them.
Yeah, I'll be keeping up with that for sure.
Yeah.
Also, for people who my Forza fam out there, there is an event right now under the special events and the rivals to chase down Dan Greenawalt of Turn 10. He's there's a time up in and he has one of these in life, a Mustang GT350 Mustang at can't remember what track it was at. I think it was Laguna Seca if I remember correct. But chase down his time and you'll win a bonus car that's been voted on by the community. So definitely worth doing. His time is not slow, but not not untouchable. I think a lot of people who have been with us racing on our race nights could definitely do it. So definitely want to get on that bounty hunter challenge. Get that unicorn.
Nice. And by the way, Peter, your first podcast was number 49. So you have been
49.
on for 51 podcasts. Your first podcast with Western Drake
Yeah.
was July 31st of 2016. You have been here for almost a year and a half, my brother.
Wow.
I figure I'm probably right around 40.
You came on shortly after that because you're on 30th Retro Rec or something like that.
29th tonight.
29th tonight. We didn't start doing them.
Probably did 5 or 6 shows before that.
Yeah. So you guys have been stalwarts for the last year, and then of course I came to him last because, as everyone knows, I wanted him here for the 100th episode. I know he's been busy with Short Pause. I know he's been busy with work, but we had to have him because without him, he doesn't believe me, but without him, I don't think this channel would be here right now. Frankie, what's up, brother?
Not a whole lot. It's kind of like my last night before the chaos begins.
I know. So I know we won't see you for a while.
Yeah.
Which sucks because we got a couple good guests coming on before the end of the year, which I'll divulge later on. Not tonight, but I'll divulge them after Thanksgiving. But we're gonna miss you through the holidays. But I'm really glad you came out tonight, man.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, he will go through a whole transformation. It's like his beard gets thicker and heavier and white, and his belly grows, and then he has to wear that red robe, and the belt and the boots.
Yep. Basically, sure feels like
Juan is
Frankie
already
Ayler,
scouting
ball
out
Santa.
the deer, the reindeer.
Hiding from them.
Yeah.
Fantastic. So what have you been up to, Frankie?
Not much. I don't remember if I mentioned it last time I was on or not, but I picked up Doom on the Switch.
You did.
And that prompted me to return to my Xbox save from last year that I never finished because it's December and I'm stupid and thought I could play a game throughout December. So I finished Doom. It's 2017 Game of the Year, man. That game was so much fun. So
I'm telling you, 2017 Game of the Year.
Yeah,
no one listened.
for sure. Look, the Switch version came out in 2017. It's Doom 2017.
Fair enough. Yep. Why not? I'll allow it.
Yeah, so I finally finished that.
Judge's
I
call?
was really satisfied. Chuck Norris.
Well, that's kind of an inside joke for my real life buddies who catch the show occasionally because we do tabletop gaming as well. A lot of times we'll do co-op tabletop, like the great Zombicide is great like that, where it's all the players versus the game basically. And sometimes someone will be like, I don't know, can I use this chainsaw twice this turn on this thing? And I'll be like, I'll allow it because he's on my team.
Very nice. Yeah. Well,
I do want to give a shout out real quick to our boy Rick over at Warhorse because he hooked me up with the swag hat. I got the KCD logo rocking on my debut of my new swag hat from him, so much appreciated and very much looking forward to February and getting in some Kingdom Come Deliverance on the X. I think it's going to be very unique.
Yeah, did you see that game trailer about like 4 different ways you can tackle like that problem? It's awesome.
Yep. Yeah, I'm very much looking forward to that.
Yeah,
but back to what Frankie was saying, Doom is pretty fantastic. It holds up. I can't wait to see it when my X gets back and they patch that up and get that. I'm going to play through it again to see it all beautiful and smooth and fantastic because there's so many great design things in that game. There's so many design decisions when it comes to the music and the characterization and the rewarding aggression as opposed to camping and getting your shields back or hiding out for a while till things cool down. But if you get in trouble, the solution is to fight harder. Yes. So yeah, it might be one of the games of the generation, let alone the year.
Well, lovely. Any hitter with the I love you too. That's awesome, man.
Yeah.
How you doing in your new? How you guys doing with the new house?
All right, it's another apartment. So
we miss your Battleborn poster. You got to put it up on the back wall.
Yeah, I know. I thought about it, but I don't know. Initially, we have another bedroom, but this building is so old that I don't have any internet connection like to hardwire in there, so I'd have to run wires everywhere, and I don't want to do that. Our Wi-Fi sucks, so that really wasn't an option either. So
Gotcha.
yeah, so
Understood.
unfortunately stuck out here for now, but we're looking into some stuff, so
All right.
maybe I can do something different. But outside of that, I started Battle Chasers again on my Xbox because I'm just gonna play that game on everything because it's amazing. So got past the Iron Outpost, and I went and did there's a mini boss in between the first two dungeons, so I went and fought him. And then we picked back up the Punisher. It's really good, by the way. It came out on Netflix on Friday. I think we're like on episode 8, and it's really, really good. If you're a fan of him in Daredevil, it's great seeing them explore that character more.
All right.
And the last thing I've been playing a little bit of is Battlefront 2, which I don't hate.
Excellent. And
Yeah, I haven't
we're going
played
to
the
talk
story
about.
at all, but
We are
yeah,
going to talk about it. We will touch on that.
What about Banker?
So, and Nathan, who could not be with us tonight because he is in Louisiana. But I'm trying to remember from Waterboy, the great Jerry Reed. The great Jerry Reed, I will add, or I will say again. He's called Louisiana. My father used to say it that way too, Louisiana. And so he's out of the state right now. He could not be with us tonight, but there he is in the chat. He's gonna help lock it down for us, and and we miss having him on tonight, but he'll be back shortly. Speaking of the chat room, welcome everybody. I know we got a couple people who are listening or at least chatting for the first time tonight. Punkidish Gaming. And I know I've hooked up with him on Twitter, and glad he is here tonight. Magnetic Storm's catching us in the chat for the beginning of the show this time. Usually pops in at the very end and says hi, so we're glad he's in the chat with us today. At the beginning, Anchorman, who I'm going to shout him out in a minute otherwise. And, of course, our great friends over at WFC Gaming. It looks like they're all in there right now. Witty, Daz, Soup, Cooper, and Fastback. And I know Daz is fading fast, so hang on as long as you guys can.
Super.
Yeah, I think he has to start working like 3.5 hours.
I know, so you may as well not even bother going to sleep now, man. We'll keep you up.
I thought I saw JD in there dragging down the average.
He was in the other chat room. Hopefully,
no, he's back in.
Is
No,
he
he's back in.
Good.
He's
Okay.
back in.
And Brent
Nate's back in
Brent
too.
from Short
Yeah,
Paws is in.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
So
Oh, Anchorman too.
Yeah.
Cool.
So listen, before we run to our first thing, I wanted to do something. Since we are, we're at 100 episodes. We've really, come a long way from the days of Google Hangouts and, the trying to share video and stuff like that to where we are now. And there's a lot. We've had a lot of friends along the way, and a lot of people who have been very supportive of the NLG channel and the podcast. People who have been guests. People who have really encouraged us to keep moving forward and doing the things we're doing. And I just wanted, there's a few people, such as our friends over at WFC Gaming, and Short Pause. And Multiverse and TiC and Anchorman and Fame and Cal and the Double XP podcast. My man Kofi over at Press Start. Good guy. I've been on his show. Some new friends that we've got. The PlayStation Bra himself, who was on our show last week, and I was on his show on Tuesday. I think it was Tuesday or Wednesday, one of those two. And him and Jay and Craven God, just fantastic people who have been really good friends to us. I'm obviously not gonna. I'm gonna forget people, so don't take it personally if I do. But everybody who's in that chat room, every one of you guys. I mean, I seriously, there's just so much I can say about you and how important you are to us and how much we love you guys. And JD from Play and Listen, just an entire gambit of friends that we have, and seriously, we truly love you all.
And digital hoarders.
Digital hoarders, yeah, our new friends. Well, Doc's not a new friend of mine, but Brandon Murphy is, and we're hoping to have them on very, very soon. The guys who have done graphics for us, Diego, Dinero Primero, who Diego's his Twitter name, but who I don't know if he's in or not, but he was going to try to catch us. But him and Graphic God Jay, who is responsible for the logos and things that you see, he really gave us the kickstart along with Frankie for us to move forward.
Two amazing people.
Yeah, and amazing graphical guys. I mean, they are just phenomenal.
My gamer pick, a lot of other people gamer picks. If you see them all all fancy and stuff, then you know it's from Graphic God. He's amazing at what he does, and so is Dinero.
Yeah.
Yep.
My man Mike P. The Truth from over at TiC. Undead.
Don't white knight him.
I'm allowed to like him.
I love that guy. He's fun.
He is great. Right. He is great. I mean, I'm sure I'm missing somebody from TiC that I'm not supposed to forget, but the entire team over there is they're phenomenal people. I'm getting to know the Lords from the Iron Lords podcast, and those are really good guys. Some of the guys from RGM, Worry Wart. Oh my God, a former co-host, and he's a good guy. He just we DM talk a lot. He's very cool. Our friends over at RGM Gaming. I talk about the three letter podcast teams. Those guys. Bella, who's been a really good supporter of us, and those guys over there, and Sam and Eric Jackson, and those guys over at RGM. And, the list goes on. So if I have forgotten you guys, it is not on purpose, I promise. Throw your name into the chat, and I'll shout you out as we go, seriously. But thank you, every single solitary one of you who watches this show, who comes into the chat, who leaves a comment, even if it's the comments that we have to take on. We love you anyway. Our guys that watch us from over in Europe and in Australia, Annihilator, he should be in soon. So thank you guys so much. I can't just. Hopefully you're with us the next, as Peter said, the next 100 episodes. And we come back and we have a big party for 200. So, all right. Now that I got all the mushy stuff out of the way, let's get to talking. First up on the docket, while I am bringing up the... Hang on, while I'm bringing up the picture of it, go ahead and give us your take, Frankie, on what you've seen from Battlefront 2 so far.
So I've only actually, that's not true. I was gonna say I only played a couple matches, but we actually did a couple hour stream Friday night. The big problem I have with it is like keeping parties together and stuff throughout matches. So you stay in a party, but everybody has to individually quit out a match. So if a round ends and you're kind of just waiting for people, it seems like we're already hitting that point where there's modes people aren't playing, like heroes versus villains. I don't think we could get into a match for. There was another one that we tried getting into. Like we got into a match at the very end, and then like everybody left. So if the party leader backs out, it doesn't back everybody out. And on top of that, like if somebody is still waiting in that lobby because they haven't backed out, you can't pick another. You can't start looking for another match. Mm-hmm. So just some like random things like that I wish they had fixed from the first game that they haven't. But outside of that, I mean, from what I can tell, it's going to take a while to unlock all the heroes. But I for some reason have a lot of them unlocked already. That I don't even know how I got them. Like I have Darth Maul unlocked, and I never did anything to unlock them. So I'm not really sure how some of that stuff's working. But I don't know. It's fun though. I suck at it, so if you're paying for microtransactions, you're killing the doofus Rick of the other team. So congratulations, I guess. I don't know. I don't care how bad I do. That game is still a ton of fun. We got into a couple of those galactic assault rounds, and those are so much fun. Like, you get towards the end of them, and you're kind of taking down, like, you have like this big base you're getting to. So you have to take down the shields, and you fly into the core, and you're trying to blow up the core, and that's how you win. So doing that, like trying to figure out the controls, like flying the side of this thing, like hover around this room while shooting at this core. You have like 45 seconds before the barriers go back up. It's really intense. A lot of fun. So, so far I'm really happy with it. Obviously, a lot of stuff has happened with the game, so I jumped in later when all this stuff had already been turned off. So I don't know how bad it was when people were playing on Tuesday. But yeah, so far I've only played the multiplayer. I haven't touched the story, but I'm enjoying it. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, I've played some of the story through EA Access, but that game looks gorgeous though.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it runs great. It looks great.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Like I was doing the campaign. Also played some multiplayer. Same thing. Experienced the same thing as what you were describing about the party stuff. And it's like, especially when when a couple of people are still in they don't back out, and we start a game. It's like, okay, you see them running, and you think everything is cool, and then you hear like, hey, wait a second, you're supposed to back out, and it's like, oh, okay, it's like kind of a little crapshoot, but
yeah, it's a minor annoyance, but as long as someone says, hey, we're backing out, like everyone,
right,
to, as long as the people are paying attention, it's not a problem.
Right.
But I had a hard time unlocking any cards though. Like when I was playing the beta or whatever it was, like I was like collecting stuff left and right, and now it's like I play like I don't know for how long, a couple of hours, and like nothing really. So I'm not sure what was going on.
Yeah, I don't actually thinking about it. Like I don't think I've unlocked any cards either. I built up enough credits to buy Darth Vader, so I have him unlocked. Right. But that's
that's what everybody was going crazy about, was that it wasn't just buying abilities and things like that. They locked Luke Skywalker, Darth Vader, and Leia behind that. And you could get the game. You could get the game, and you could grind for a while, and then unlock them with in-game credits. But then you could pay to unlock them. And that got everybody, I mean, things like that and being able to actually pay to win got everybody up in arms. It apparently got Disney up in arms. Now, this is the story. Now, there's how much truth to this, I don't know. But as we all know, right before the game launched, we got this. And basically, as it says, as we approach the worldwide launch, it's clear that many of you feel there are still challenges in the design. I like how they put that. So basically, they're turning off all the in-game purchases, every bit of the microtransactions, for now.
Yeah.
As you can see, the ability
to become
purchase,
available at a later date.
Yeah.
That's the fine print. It's like,
well, it's not very fine. It's right there.
Right.
Okay.
So, and the story is that Disney themselves got involved in this. Like Bob Iger got on the phone with Andrew. I can never pronounce his last name correctly, but he's the CEO of EA, and basically said, "What are you doing? And you need to fix this." Because of course, The Last Jedi is about 3 weeks out from being released, and I'm pretty sure that if this is true, and I'm cautioning that this is not a factual thing. No one at EA has said yes, Disney stepped in. Disney themselves has not said they've stepped in, but Andrew Wilson. I don't know why his name. I thought his last name was more exotic than that, but so it all came from VentureBeat. That somehow, Andrew Wilson had a call with Disney's. It was Jimmy Pitaro from the Consumer Products and Interactive Media portion of Disney, and I'm imagining the conversation went, "Hey, look, if anybody's going to run Star Wars into the ground, it's going to be us," and so which they're doing, and that's a whole other conversation we can have at another time. But right. So here's my question to you guys. I'm going to shut up and let you guys talk. Number one, is this the right move to make? And number two, do you think this is going to have any effect on the sales of the game? Now, obviously, it did not to Frankie. Frankie bought it and is enjoying it. So his conversation would probably be, no, it does not matter. So, but to the rest of you, first off, are you getting the game beyond EA Access? Are you waiting for it to come out on EA Access? And did this make any difference to you?
I wait for it to be in the vault. Simply because there's so many games to play. It's like, this one will have low priority, so I'd rather spend my $60 on something else.
Did the microtransactions have anything to do with it?
Well, yes, no. I just hate games with, where you have you unlock cards and you can apply those cards to be a better player, because then you get killed. It's like, oh yeah, got killed by, I'm having 0 cards and you get killed by a guy that has like 3 cards enabled. Seems unbalanced. So I'm against that to begin with.
Okay. Do you think it's going to affect the game sales as a whole?
I don't know. But it's funny when you looked at the stock price, though, for EA and stuff. It's like, it was the right time to buy. Let's say it that way. So what goes down must come back up.
Yes. Juan?
Yeah, it wasn't really on my radar just because my budget has constricted since I picked up Black Betty there. I love Black Betty. A little back. I'm still digging on that new ride, but that's what I'd spend on a game. Easily 2 games in a month, just gone, just erased. So then also haven't gotten the X. It's just there's just no money for me to do something like that right now. So I'd be waiting for the vault anyway. Not so much because of microtransactions, because I wouldn't probably be playing the multiplayer much. I don't know. It just feels like it's more hectic, and I just don't want to even. Maybe I'm getting old, but I'm just like all that going on, and I remember with multiplayer, I liked being in a smaller type game where I have a larger impact, good or bad, as opposed to being one of the Zerg, that causes something to happen or not. So, like I said, I would maybe give it a try for the campaign, but since it's not in the budget, it'll be a EA Access game for me for sure.
Okay. Do you think the microtransaction issue is going to cause this thing to have issues overall?
I don't know. It's Star Wars. Star Wars draws pretty much always. I mean, it looks pretty, and if it has the sounds and the feel right and everything, it feels like Star Wars. That'll move things. On the platforms it's coming on, for both platforms, really, there's not a whole lot left for the rest of the year. So there's that. I don't think it'll ever hurt it too bad, because and let's also just not forget ever the fact that the loudest people complaining and the biggest blah blah, they're buying it anyway.
Yeah, look at Call of Duty. Everybody says like, "Oh, we're not going to buy it. We're not going to buy it," and that's always like
every single year.
Every single year. So.
Oh, remember the last Call of Duty, not World War II, but Infinite Warfare was like the second most disliked video ever on YouTube, and it sold gangbusters. It didn't sell as well as the previous game, but it still, of course, was the number one game. Hey, kitty! Kitty!
All right, Cooper's going to take over for me.
All right, Cooper. What's your take on Star Wars, Cooper? All right. So Frankie, we already know he bought the game. But do you? Answer. Do you answer this? Do you think it'll have an overall effect? Was this the right move, and will this have an overall effect on sales?
Honestly, I think it might be a little too late for it to have an effect on sales. I mean, the people who were going to buy it already bought it, and the people who already weren't going to buy it because of the microtransactions are still not going to buy it because, like everyone has pointed out, this is a temporary fix. Like, they're going to turn those back on at some point. What the game looks like when they do, or if they change anything about them, is a different story. But I think the damage with this whole thing has kind of already been done. You're at a time of year where people people don't have time to sit here and like follow up on games because there are so many other games out right now that they can go and buy instead. So if you're like sitting here like looking up things about Battlefront 2 and Call of Duty and you're seeing, oh, well, Call of Duty just has some server problems and holy shit, Battlefront 2 has this pay to win problem. All right, the hell with Battlefront 2, I'm getting Call of Duty. That's where we're at this time of year. So I think the damages are done with all this stuff.
Yep.
All right. Matt, are you getting it?
I will eventually get it, yes, because as far as I can tell, everyone's saying it's way better than the first one. They're saying the story mode is pretty awesome. I'll eventually get Battlefront 2. I got a bunch of backlog games that I've yet to play, like Forza Horizon 7, or Forza Motorsport 7, and Assassin's Creed Origins, and
which I'm hearing is a fantastic game.
Yeah, I still have to start it.
Middle of Earth, Shadow of War, Mordor.
Great game.
Whichever one it is.
It's Shadow of War.
Shadow of War.
Oh.
But yeah, I have a lot of games to finish before I even start to think about getting my hands on Battlefront 2. But when the time is right, I will purchase it.
All right. What do you think about, the microtransaction issue? Was it right for them to do this and pull this now, and do you think it'll have an effect on sales?
I don't think it would, because, a lot of other games have microtransactions, and doesn't seem to be affecting them that much.
People made a bigger deal about this, though. I don't remember. People have always groused about microtransactions, but I haven't seen it this rough to where we have stories of Disney getting involved in a gaming company.
Right? Yeah.
If any of this had happened was actually true, then Disney threatened EA with the license. That's what the story going around is that they threatened the licensing.
Are they saying like the microtransactions makes it easier for a person to be better compared to a person that doesn't have microtransactions, and it takes them longer to get to where another person who buys microtransactions?
Yep, pretty much. That's it. It's pay to win.
Yeah.
Well, for me, I thought the real fervor kind of kicked up when it was either revealed or I don't know how. I take any of it with a grain of salt now, because as we have well documented, I don't think Forza 7 or Shadow of War, the reaction to the microtransactions that were mostly based off of bad info, and so I take all of this when I hear about a game with a grain of salt. But yeah. I think the thing that set people off the most was the notion that perhaps reviewers had played a certain set of code where it was easier to get the heroes, and then afterwards after the review period and when it hit the trial for access, it was like 4 times as long to get a hero, and that would be shady. That would be something that I would have to grimace at.
Well, and what they did was they originally cut that time down by 75%, and that wasn't enough. So.
Yeah.
The other problem too with that was Game Informer actually had posted that when they did that, they cut the rewards as well. It wasn't just like the amount that you needed; they cut your rewards as well. So it's still taking just as long.
Right.
But the big thing with the microtransactions though is if like you open a pack, you can actually obtain cards that are higher level than you should be able to have, but you can equip them. Like you can still equip them, even though like. I still don't really fully understand how the leveling system in that game works, but you can equip cards that you wouldn't be able to obtain until you're like a much higher level in the game. So getting things this way, like it's giving you access to higher powered gear much earlier than other players. But not only that, I think you can also craft things. Since you have the components for them, you can also craft things that are again higher level than you should be able to. Right. For whatever reason, that works in the game.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Which it seems like a simple fix, right? Just turn that off.
And, well, temporarily.
No, I mean like that whole system. Like, just don't let people equip stuff that's higher than level than they are. You know?
Right. Yeah. I have something to talk about actually. Surprisingly, Injustice 2 came with character pack 3 like a few weeks ago, and out of the blue, here comes Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles as DLC characters on Injustice 2. I'm kind of intrigued to see how the Turtles will play out in Injustice 2.
There's only one good turtle. It's Donatello. So. We're gonna have to save this one for another podcast, though, because if we didn't start a half hour late, I'd get into this with you, but
right, yeah.
So we'll have you back on to talk about the Injustice. When it comes out, we'll have you on to discuss the Turtles with us. So.
Okay.
I think the best turtle makes the best soup.
Damn. All right. Moving on. Speaking of turtle, yeah, that doesn't have anything to do with it. All right, so I don't know if everybody can see this. I'm gonna try to see if I can get this a little bigger. Nope.
This is perfect, actually.
Right. You know what?
So,
all right, we're keeping it like that.
What game's number 1 there?
So this is the October NPDs, and Frankie, it's right there.
Yeah, what game's number 1? Okay, so what game was everybody bitching about microtransactions for the past month and say they weren't going to buy?
God of War.
So what's going to happen with Star Wars?
It's going to be
number 1. It's going to be number 1.
No. It's going to be number 2.
It's going to be number 2 or 3.
It's going to be 2.
Yeah, Call of Duty.
Yeah, Call of Duty is going to be number 1. It could be number 2. It could be it's going to depend on how many legs Super Mario Odyssey has. It could be 3, it could be 2. But here's your NPD top 20, and a nice round of games. Some surprise games, but some things we expected, such as Shadow of War being number 1.
Oh.
Yeah,
so
Grand Theft Auto
is still in there.
It's still there. You know what's not on there though?
Can't believe it won't die.
Minecraft is not on there.
Oh, what happened?
I don't know. I guess people have finally gotten tired of Minecraft. It's time to shut it down. Time to close down Mojang.
I don't believe it.
So overall, game spending was down 11% from last year. However, thanks to the Switch, hardware was up a bit. So however, overall, even with that, it's down 11%. Software is down 20% from last year. So it's interesting. The reason that I don't take too much of a grain of salt of NPD numbers is simply because these numbers don't necessarily show the full picture, which is how's the gaming industry doing growth-wise year over year. However, I do love, and this is why we don't talk about hardware, because hardware can get into all kinds of stupid console warring kind of crap. But software, I love talking about software because I'm always interested in what the gaming public is buying. And I think Shadow of War and Assassin's Creed Origins were, I think they were given to be in the top 5. I'm surprised that they're as high as they are above Super Mario Odyssey. I thought Odyssey might have edged it out. Now, I know Odyssey came out.
It just doesn't have the install base for that, I don't think.
No?
No, I mean the
attach rate.
Constrained.
The attach rate has to be insane for that, though.
It'll be high, but it won't be Zelda high.
No?
Nope.
I'm legitimately shocked. Frankie, are you surprised?
I mean, not really. We know, Mario also had, 3 days to chart. So the fact that it's as high as it is, we know it did 2 million in the span of time it had to chart. So I'm gonna assume it's gonna be, around the same spot next month. But I mean, if it had been given the same amount of time like Shadow of War and Assassin's Creed had, I think it would have surpassed them. even with the smaller install base, it's still like it's the hot
It's
Nintendo
the-
game. It's the reason
Right.
people
One
are buying
platform.
Switch.
And there are no
Exactly,
digital.
that
There are
too.
no digital sales for Super Mario Odyssey. By the way, I want to point out where there are for Middle Earth and Assassin's Creed. So
Mine didn't count.
yeah, so it is. It's possible that it could be closer, or in one of those other spots if you were counting digital sales. But Nintendo does not count digital sales at this point.
But
So.
Juan also makes a really good point, though. Like, this Mario is limited to one console. Assassin's Creed and Shadow of War aren't like debut titles. Like, these are highly anticipated sequels. So they had to outdo Mario. There's no way they couldn't.
Yeah,
Kinda surprised Outright didn't, honestly.
I get that. My counter to that is it's Mario Odyssey. It's the Mario game that everybody's been waiting for years.
Oh, yeah.
Well,
So-
it's the Mario game that we've been waiting for since we learned about the Switch.
Right.
Yeah,
That
pretty
too.
much.
Okay.
And it almost lives up to it too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you
It's
said.
almost like the sequel to Super Mario Sunshine, a little bit.
Have you played it, Matt?
No, I haven't. I need to get a Switch so I can play Super Mario Odyssey and Legends of Zelda Breath of the Wild. Those are my two games that I'm eyeing up.
Those would be the ones to get. They're both great.
And Mario Kart.
Fastback saying Mario could be number 2 behind COD next month.
Could be.
Could be.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, Switches are still selling, so
Yeah.
that's the big game to get the kids for Christmas.
Yeah. So look at the rest of the list. South Park being number 4. That's I'm actually impressed with that too, considering the delays and whether or not there would be an audience for the game in the month of October with the other two, big multi-plats and then Super Mario. So Fractured But Whole making number 4 is actually pretty impressive in my estimation. The next set are kind of interesting choices. Destiny 2 is down at 9, but behind NBA, FIFA, and WWE and Madden.
People buy those games.
Didn't they have like sales specials on those or not?
It's possible they had a Madden special.
Yeah.
But-
yeah, Madden maybe, but the other one's just launched.
When did WWE 2K18 launch? That was a month or two ago, wasn't it?
Yeah, I don't follow it close enough to say.
I think it was late October. They're usually mid-October.
I might be thinking because I have WWE 2K17. I may be. Hang on, I'll tell you in a second.
Yeah.
No, you're right. It launched. It launched October 13th. Okay, so that's all right. So that's fair. But NBA and FIFA didn't.
I think you're right. I think NBA launched in September.
Yeah.
So did FIFA. Huh. I know NBA launched on the Switch, technically.
FIFA
around
launched on September 29th. I mean, and Madden
That may have
launched
missed
in
the
August.
cutoff for NPD that month. So that might be why, because I don't think it would have been charted last month.
It's possible. And then NBA 2K18 was September 19th, which definitely would have.
Yeah.
So it's just that over Destiny 2 though is surprising because I honestly was thinking Destiny would have been either 4 or 5. Now I know it launched September 6th, but I mean I would still have thought that game was gaining steam rather than dropping that fast.
I think it's another one too that the people who wanted that thing bought it right away. Other than that, like Destiny is typically a waiting game past launch. You're waiting for all the new expansions. So you have people who know that now. They're just going to wait to pick it up, or they're going to wait till Black Friday because it's going to be on sale. So
See, that's why these lists don't make any sense. Because what saying what you said is like everybody bought Destiny like day one that really wanted Destiny. So you're gonna have like hypothetically 100 million sales. So it's like number 1, and then the rest of the month it's like at the bottom of the list or not at all. So you don't get a whole picture of what's in the list. You
True.
don't know quantities.
No, but there are trends you can see. As we keep going down the list, Forza and Gran Turismo are number 10 and 11. So it's good. I'll be honest with you. Forza being number 10 and Gran Turismo Sport being number 11, considering that those two franchises never do that well in North America anymore. Those are usually hot sellers in Europe. I'm actually glad to see both of those games sitting in at least those positions. It's kind of where I thought they would be, but it's good to see.
I gotta imagine Forza got some help from the people who are waiting for the X.
Mm-hmm.
Very possible.
Yeah.
Very possible. Because that's been their big flagship game for the X.
Yeah, the big showpiece.
Well, the trend that I'm taking from this whole list is what people say and what they buy, not necessarily, because when you look at Wolfenstein, and what was the other Bethesda?
Evil Within.
Evil Within.
Evil Within.
They're sitting on there.
Well, they are, but where are they?
13
You're talking
and
about
14.
You're talking about two games that have no microtransactions, that are single player, that are everything everyone has said. This is what we really care about. This is what's dying, and the industry's greed is killing it. And then when they're offered these products, and both of those are probably fine games. Wolfenstein and
Wolfenstein 2 is a crazy, crazy game.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure both of them are great games, but they're not getting picked up. They're being passed over for the things people are bitching about. So, when people come at me about how evil the industry is and how it's greed and they want to kill, no, they're reacting to what you're buying.
Now, to be fair, Wolfenstein has been out for 3 days.
Right?
So is Mario.
Right. And
So
they'll
is
say,
Assassin's Creed.
Okay, yeah.
and you'll hear people say,
Yeah,
well,
but you buy a Switch for Mario games, though.
Right.
You'll hear people say,
Yeah.
Nintendo is the savior of single player. Well, because people bought the game. That's why it's, I'm just saying, people need to bat their mouths with their wallets a lot more than they do, is all I'm saying.
Especially since Bethesda puts out quality games. Like, both these
That's what I'm
games are
saying.
critical. Like, they're really high Metacritic scores.
Yeah.
People aren't buying them. What the fuck? Why?
Well, to be fair, I didn't buy Wolfenstein 2 because it was given to me by TiC.
You lucked out.
But he had to buy it to give it to me. So there it is. And Wolfenstein 2 is, if you liked any of the Wolfenstein series, New Order or Old Order or New Blood, this game is that on steroids. I mean, it is phenomenal. Now, I haven't played Evil Within. I didn't play the first one. And Jeff is saying, don't forget Assassin's Creed Origins is single player.
Yeah.
As is Shadow of War, mostly. Right?
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah, the only online stuff, there's online conquests, so like other people will get killed by somebody, you'll get to go kill targets. They're just little missions that pop up on the map.
But Shadow of War had the loot crate thing going.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it did.
I think Assassins does too, though. You could buy Helix credits.
Yeah,
right.
Somebody was just saying that earlier in the chat. So the top 4 games are single player, to be fair. But, Evil Within 2 and Wolfenstein 2 are good games. Now, Wolfenstein 2 could be simply that it's 3 days old, and that might have some legs. So it may jump up. We've seen games start low and jump up the next month, so we'll see.
I don't know.
I
think it might be getting Titanfall a little bit.
True, because it is a busy month.
Yep.
But it's a worthy game to put in that list, though.
Sure, but when you look at the campaign of Titanfall, I put that Titanfall 2 campaign up with just about anything of that year,
right?
And it got destroyed.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, we got Legend of Zelda: Breath of the Wild, which is still hanging in there. Mario Kart 8 still hanging in there. Fire Emblem Warriors, and I'm going to just round it out so we can move on. The 18th and 20th games, Ghost Recon Wildlands and Rainbow Six Siege. Rainbow Six Siege is still hanging tough, and they just announced year 3 and some new stuff.
It's like they're the new kids.
Yeah, I mean it's crazy. That is a I mean, really, talk about a game. Now that's the opposite end of the spectrum. That is straight up a gas game as a service game, and there it is sitting pretty. It's actually sitting higher. I mean, Overwatch has kind of fallen off, so Rainbow Six Siege has some serious legs. So yeah, they've got the Operation White Noise, Operation Chimera, and the Year 3 roadmap coming. So
nice.
Yeah, might have to actually buy into some of that because, like, I know there's a lot of free content, but still, I kind of dig it. And I like that game. The game works well. So, all right. So that is the NPD for this month. We're going to move
Juan
on.
had the best Overwatch tweet this week, by the way.
Why did
Refresh
I?
my memory because I'm
Yeah,
old.
refresh mine too.
So I guess there's a free play weekend for it.
Oh, right.
But why?
Yeah, but why? Yeah.
All right. We're going to move on to the Game Awards. Before we move on to Jeff Keighley's Game Awards, because I want to pull it up on the screen, I do want to recognize that we have the official TiC to Inner Circle Community Awards again this year, which Anchorman put on as he has done a fine job for the last few years. I am a panelist on that, so disclosure. So I will talk about the folks who are nominated for these awards. However, I have to remain in some method or form or fashion objective, even though one of our own is nominated. So it was it was nice to be on the panel. It was nice to be asked, and we had a really good slew of people that were nominating and taking care of things. So, shout out to Anchorman again, because for all the crap he takes and all the he really almost didn't do it again this year, and asked whether or not he should, and the reaction from the community was very positive on what he does. So, credit to him for keeping that going and doing it again this year. So I just want to run down really quickly the nominees for this year's TiC Community Awards, and I believe that the voting is going to go on until December 18th, but we'll double check that, and we'll start tweeting it out on the OG_NL Gaming Twitter feed. Funniest Gamer of 2017's nominees are one of our former own, Deacon Nahapuki, who was doing part of the Fine Fins, who was doing streaming for us a while back, 3MG Live, and Saki from SDGC. So those are the three that are up for Funniest Gamer. Any thoughts? You guys can say whatever you want. I'm going to remain.
Yeah, I don't know the other two, but Nakapuki, he's funny as funny can be. So
Yeah, he's great.
yeah,
Is the only one I know. Soccer.
Yeah, exactly.
Is Mick Foley on that show or something? Ed.
So, all right. So next up, Best Podcast of 2017. And nominees for the Best Podcast are Four Guys with Quarters, the Iron Lords Podcast from TiC, and Our Brothers in Gaming, and Frankie's own Short Pause Gaming. And I'll take thoughts on that. I'm sure everyone's going to say Short Pause. I will once again remain objective. I must abstain.
Yes,
The sanctity of the voting booth is a cornerstone of our democracy.
Yes, I do love the guys at Four Guys with Quarters. Of course, my bro Mike Inferno. Shout out to you and your people at Four Guys with Quarters. But Short Pause Gaming, definitely.
Nice. Frankie,
I won't lie. I voted for Four Guys because I felt guilty voting for my own podcast.
You realize if you lose by one vote, you'll be here being
Damn
a
it,
permanent.
Jerry.
Right, you'll be right. You'll be over here being a permanent member of NLG once again.
Yep. Probably.
Rookie of the Year. Now, I will say, while still being objective, that I am delighted to announce that, and I'm very proud of him for this, our own Nathan NatiRedGals has been nominated for Rookie of the Year. And I want to congratulate him. He's such a good kid. Just very, very, very friendly, very, just very down to earth guy. So, NatiRedGals, our great friends from the WFC podcast, that is Witty, Fastback, and Super, and now Daz, who, by the way, I believe it was, I think I heard it correctly when I was listening back, that he is now a permanent member of WFC. So, they are also Rookie of the Year and PlayStation Bra. So, good luck to all of you guys.
Yeah.
So
that's my line. Right.
Since I'm no longer officially on NLG, I voted for Nate.
Oh, that's awesome.
I'm sure he appreciates him.
I was gonna say, you guys can vote for Nate if you want. I'm just not saying who I voted for, and I'm staying. As far as the official podcast goes, I am staying neutral since I was on the nominating board. So
it's okay.
Yeah, that's what I said.
You can vote for Nate. It's okay.
That's what I said on Twitter. It's like, it's so much easier when you have like, oh yeah, he's like one guy that you really like and the other two suck real bad, And I was like, it's all good. I mean, they're friends and other stuff, It just makes it hard. I mean, I voted, but it's like still.
All right, so the
So
final
good.
one. Yeah, I know. The final one, Gamer of the Year 2017.
That's me.
There you go.
There you go.
You're not on the list, though. I'm sorry, brother.
I know.
Right in.
Right in. There you go. Right in. Eric Utz for the win. Eric Utz for the win. I get that wrong all the time. She is from the Press Start podcast with Kofi. Undead from TiC. And Chicken Spaghetti. And those are your 3 Gamer of the Year. So
where has Chicken Spaghetti been?
He's been around, but I haven't seen him. He's been in the chat room once or twice, but this gets a little late for him.
Yeah.
So.
Or he runs out of beer.
Eh.
All right, so those are the TiC Game Award, TiC Community Awards, and good luck to everyone. I will say good luck to you guys over at Short Pause. I know if Brent's still in the room. I will tell you that you guys have earned that nomination. I have no problem saying that. You guys are just great guys.
Yeah. Brent works his ass off on that show, so it's cool.
You guys
cool to see
all
him getting
do,
some
man.
recognition.
And I tell you, you do the bumpers, which is great, and Ben does. I tell you, he's one hell of a moderator. He's like it's like the McLaughlin group. So I mean, he does a fantastic job. I still remember that 5-hour marathon we did for E3, and it was phenomenal. Matt, that was one of your first. That was your first podcast.
I don't think I'd survive it.
I remember it was with the Short Pause Gaming guys.
Yep. So yeah.
Yep. That was my first ever podcast with you and them, and it's a great memory of mine because this is the first podcast I ever did in my life, and I'm glad to be on the 100th, and hopefully I'll be able to be on more podcasts with you guys.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll have you on. We'll have you on from time to time because Frankie's going to be out. So, all right. So now let's move over. We're doing all right here. We're going to spend about 15 minutes talking about the Game Awards, the actual Jeff Keighley Game Awards, where
Hideo Kojima presents
win
the Jeff Keighley Game Awards.
Well, I was just about to say the one where Hideo Kojima wins every category, and they bring him out on an Egyptian throne with 4 guys with no shirts on to to gladiator music. So, all right.
To do battle with Schick Hydro, man.
Yeah. Oh man, and Daz, thank you, Daz. You know what? Shit, I don't know how I forgot them earlier. Another great set of guys who I do talk to a lot. Gamers Know Best, the Governor, and Console Corner. Those guys are great. I've had some like off Twitter conversation with those guys, and they really I tell you, man, they've come a long way with their show, and they got great production value too. And She-Wolf, she does a hell of a lot of great streaming. So check them out. Thank you, Daz, for reminding me of that. I knew I was going to forget somebody. Okay, Game Awards. Here we go. Game of the Year nominees for this year are Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, Super Mario Odyssey, PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds, Persona 5, and Horizon Zero Dawn. So, I'm just going to go around the room. Here's how we're going to do this. I'm going to go around, give me your pick, give me just 2 sentences or a couple seconds on why. Peter.
Ghost Recon Wildlands. Guess that one was not in the list.
Not in the list.
Dang.
If it was Hideo Kojima's Ghost Recon Wildlands, it would be.
It would have been.
Yeah, but it is Tom Clancy, so I guess it's not. This doesn't get the same buzz.
No.
My pick. I don't know. Maybe Horizon Zero Dawn.
Good pick, Matt.
I enjoyed that game.
Yeah.
It's good.
Good pick.
All right.
Matt.
So, one more time. I'm sorry.
That's all right. Legend of Zelda, Breath of the Wild, Super Mario Odyssey, Battlegrounds, PlayerUnknown Battlegrounds, Persona 5, and Horizon Zero Dawn.
I'm going with PUBG, man.
Okay.
Can't wait for it to get on the Xbox so I can get a crack at winning a few games and get me some chicken.
All right. Winner, chicken dinner. Frankie.
Yeah.
Winner, chicken dinner.
I'd pick Zelda of those. It's the game I've spent the most time with that came out this year, since I can't pick The Witcher 3.
Or
So.
Doom.
Well, yeah, that's true. Doom. Oh, why isn't Doom on here? What the hell? This is rigged.
I know.
Yeah.
Juan.
I'd probably have. Was Odyssey in the list?
Odyssey is in the list.
Yeah, I'd probably have to go with Odyssey. I think it's just better than Zelda. In what it wants to do. I think Zelda was too big of a departure from what Zelda is. Like Zelda, you think about music, dungeons, there are all these things about Breath of the Wild, which was a good game, but maybe not the best Zelda game. Mario probably isn't still the best Mario game. I think I still like Galaxy better. I don't know if it's SMB3 or SMW even, but it's better than Zelda. So those are the two on the list that I played. And I can't judge PUBG because I played it, and I won't vote for something I haven't played. So it's going to have to be Mario.
Fair. All
I
right.
have a feeling once I get around to Mario, I'm gonna agree with you and change my vote.
Yeah.
Just what I've heard of it, but since I haven't played it yet, I gotta lean Zelda.
Well, just to reiterate, I think Mario's overrated too, but it kind of had to be because it's better than Zelda, and everybody scored Zelda through the roof. So
Yeah.
All right, fair enough. I'm going with Horizon Zero Dawn. It was one of those games that when I started it, I didn't put it down. It was I put all other games on hold to play it, and it really never felt like a grind fest to me. It always felt like, and the story wasn't the greatest story in the world, although there was a couple of moments that kind of got you. But the overall presentation, it was telling. So I'm going with that. All right. Next up, Best Game Direction. So this is awarded to a game studio for outstanding creative vision and innovation in game direction and design. And the nominees are Wolfenstein 2, Resident Evil 7, Legend of Zelda, Super Mario Odyssey, and Horizon Zero Dawn. Peter, you're up first.
What was the category?
This was Best Game Direction.
Direction. Yeah.
Right. Outstanding creative vision and innovation in game direction and design.
I think Wolfenstein. For what I've played, it's excellent. Really love it.
Okay.
So,
Oh man, probably Probably Super Mario Odyssey. I think. I think. I think maybe the past couple games Super Mario has come out with can be like kind of fun, but very limited. But this one seems like it's up to par with where Super Mario was once before.
Okay, Frankie.
I agree with Peter. Wolfenstein. Just it's more. It's just the way that they handle BJ Blazkowicz, the way the Machine Games handles him, and the whole story thing, like having a fleshed out story in Wolfenstein. It's amazing.
Okay.
You make a good point.
Yep. Juan?
I hadn't thought of that, but that's very true about the first one. I haven't played the second one, though, which is a rub, right? So
Right.
for me, it's got to be Resident Evil, because it took horror gaming, which had gotten into a real rut of kind of jump scares and atmospherics without anything really happening, and kind of made stuff happen. Like 10 minutes in that game, you lose a hand. And so you're not like things happen like there's real, it's pretty brutal, and and at the same time it managed to hang on to the kind of the inventory, and even the combat felt very Resident Evil, and so for that I thought it was a nice innovation, and plus I think you can't ignore that it's one of the killer apps for VR too.
Yes.
So that's why I get my vote for that.
Nice. So I'm torn. I agree with Peter and Frankie about Wolfenstein, and the first 8 minutes of that game were just. I think Peter, you and I were in a party when I was playing that, when I started that game, and
Right.
like you could feel my feelings through the party chat. I mean, it was just. And as a Jew, on top of all that, there was some very personalized things that happened in that first 8 minutes that just I went, wow. And then they took a lot of we call it chutzpah into that first part of that game just to do the things they were doing. So that's one. My other one would be Horizon Zero Dawn, simply because when we're talking about innovation in game direction and design, Horizon Zero Dawn has also done some things that other games have not done, such as taking over, sentient beings and making them work for you in such a way. There were a lot of elements of that game that were, from other games, but then you added something like, the I can't remember what it's called now. I'm drawing a blank on it, but the allying of the big giant machines. So, all right. Next up, best narrative, outstanding storytelling and narrative development in a game. And the nominees are What Remains of Edith Finch, Nier Automata, Hellblade, Wolfenstein 2, and Horizon Zero Dawn. Best narrative, Peter?
I would say Wolfenstein.
All right, Matt?
Also, I haven't played the Edith Finch game. I bought it here on sale, but I haven't played it yet, so don't have an opinion.
Fair.
We'll update that one next week.
Fair.
Yeah. So.
All right.
I've seen a playthrough of Edith Finch, and I really like the narrative, the narrator telling the story, and it just incredible.
Okay, Frankie?
I'm gonna pick Edith Finch. That game is just awesome. The way that story is told, as you're exploring these different members of the family, it's really cool the way they do it, and it's one of those games that you get to the end of the game and it's like kind of a gut puncher. So I'd go with that one. Hellblade is one I really want to play because that was what I was looking at and what I've seen of it. I was like, man, this would have been if I'd actually played it, it would have been a tough choice between those two, I think.
Yeah, I really want to play that one too. Don't have it yet.
Okay. Juan?
Edith Finch.
Edith Finch.
Because it just the storytelling. The story is good. I didn't hate the story. The storytelling, the method, and the process, and the things that they do with it is fantastic. The one of them that stands out in my memory is the comic book music and the music from Halloween cranks up, and it's just so well done. Everything about it, even the first bit where you and I probably shouldn't spoil, but in the first story, if you will, the first vignette, when the change comes upon the character, and it's just like, whoa, what's happening now? What's going on with this game? What is going on with this story? And now I do this, and okay, sweet. Yeah, it's probably the best told story of the year.
Nice. Okay. I cannot claim to have seen it, and so I have seen the others. I've watched videos on the others, and of course I've played Horizon and Wolfenstein 2. For the reasons that I spoke upon in the last one, I'm going with Wolfenstein.
Sure.
For me, the story itself has to be important as well, and like I said, just if for nothing else, the first 8 minutes of that game was a narrative that gave you something that you never had or knew about BJ Blazkowicz. I mean, it was something that they have never in the entire series gone after as far as humanizing him, and it was just like I said, and again, I'm as someone who's Jewish, it hit me in a different way than it may have hit some other people. So, but look, all good. In this one, usually there's a few, how did this get nominated? How did that get nominated? The best narrative is chock full of very good nominees this year. All right, best art direction. And this one should be a no-brainer, but I'm going to go through it anyway. For outstanding creative and or technical achievement in artistic design and animation. There is no way it doesn't win, but let's go through them. Destiny 2, Breath of the Wild, Persona 5, Horizon Zero Dawn, and Cuphead. Peter.
Cuphead. It's absolutely, gorgeous.
Yeah. Matt?
Just the whole package, the animation, just the art style, the music, the whole 9 yards.
The whole presentation.
Beautiful.
Matt? Yep. Matt?
I've died probably over 1,000 times on that game just to beat all the bosses except the casino guy and the devil, and I'm probably gonna die 1,000 more times. But I'll tell you one thing: Cuphead is a work of art. It's just amazing, like all the details and just like everything about it is like amazing. I mean, the music is like so old school and everything, and it makes like the video game look like an old cartoon, and it's just awesome, and I love every single time I play that game.
Nice.
Yeah, and I'm so glad they took their time, even though it was announced like centuries ago. At least it feels that way. And then it finally came out, and it's like, yeah, I mean, it was
as advertised.
Exactly. It's polished.
Yep. Frankie.
Yep, Cuphead.
Yeah,
anything else needs to be said.
Yeah, great. Juan?
I'm on the Cuphead train. Yeah. It was an extraordinarily well polished and well done game for a first effort out. Just it's about seamless, and unique. I mean, who even thought that was going to ever be a thing? The idea to take it back to those old school like Depression era cartoons is just genius, and it works so well. I mean, because when you think about it, the artwork is so good, it kind of covers the fact that you're kind of playing Contra.
Yeah, in some level, yeah.
I mean, in some ways, it's kind of a simplistic, game in some ways, but
Contra hardcore.
But you're so enthralled by what you're seeing and what's going to happen with the next, shift this boss makes and the crazy, And also, I think it needs to be acknowledged just for the sheer amount of work and talent that went into it. Like nobody does it this way because it's the hard way, So yeah, I can't not vote for Cuphead there. It's got to win. It has to.
It has to. Cuphead. my wife walked downstairs and thought I was. Well, she was like, "What cartoon is this?" I mean, she literally. I mean, to the detail, even down to the old style film noise that you see on the screen, and the soundtrack, and the everything looks so unbelievable. I mean, you cannot some of it's hand drawn, some of it's not, but how it got into a video game is amazing.
Like the water painted backgrounds are all fantastic. The whole thing is fantastic.
It's a great, and as Peter said, it's getting it to delaying it to make it right was the right call.
Yep.
So
there will be a Cuphead too.
So we've heard. That's what they've said. And I tell you what, man, if Microsoft is serious about building up its first party stable, and whether they have to develop or they have to buy, I'd make a run at Studio MDHR, because I have a feeling that no matter that once they get past doing a couple of Cuphead games, whatever they move on to next, they're going to be polished, and they're going to be seasoned, and they're going to be ripe for an incredible experience. So, Phil, get on the horn, buddy. Because if the next game goes multi-platform, then I will have very little. I'll have very little confidence in his ability to hold down the fort, because that's a game that Microsoft needs. So, all right, next up, best score and music. For outstanding music, inclusive of score, original song, and/or licensed soundtrack. I think anybody who uses licensed soundtrack should not be part of this, but that's a whole other thing.
Agreed.
So, but here are your nominees. Now, this is not as cut and dry, I think, as you might think. Destiny 2, Cuphead, Nier Automata, Legend of Zelda, Super Mario Odyssey, and Persona 5. Peter.
I don't know. I would say Horizon Zero Dawn, but that's not on the list, because that score was fantastic. I like to listen to that score. So, maybe Destiny.
Okay. All right, Matt.
I'm definitely going with Cuphead. I like the old feel of like the blues and everything that went into the game, so I'm definitely going with Cuphead.
Nice choice, Frankie.
I'm also gonna go with Destiny 2. That's I got that soundtrack that the game came out, and there are very few tracks on that soundtrack that I skip, so it's excellent.
Okay, it's 2 for Destiny. Juan.
Cuphead was an option, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Gonna have to go there almost by default, but I will say that even with that comment, it totally deserves to be up there, because that music is very fitting and very well done. So that's good. Honestly, if I had my pick, it'd be Prey.
Prey has a good soundtrack.
Yeah, it's Mick Gordon killing it again. It's very, very perfect for what it wants to be. Even just the track when you're getting on the helicopter to fly to the building is just perfect.
That is a great track.
Yeah, I'd be all over Prey, and honestly, I think Halo Wars 2 got a little stiff there too, because that has a phenomenal soundtrack. It's every part of awesome that the Halo music is, and yet still its own thing without it being too derivative of it. So, Cratered right there, maybe one of the best tracks of the year. So, yeah, I'll go Cuphead.
Even over Mario?
Yeah. So far, and mostly that might be partially because I'm only so far into Mario. I've only got 50, 60 moons of the 700 some odd moons to get. But there was a track in that's really awesome from the Steam Gardens. It's got a kind of a swinging 60 sound. It's really good. But yeah, other than that, it doesn't. I thought the music from Galaxy was better. Okay. Again, that whole Galaxy is forget it. You know where I'm going with that.
Yep. All right, I'm gonna go with Cuphead as well, because I honestly, for no other reason than I agree with Matt. The I like the old style music. It just I sometimes will just stop the game for a little bit to listen to it. So, all right, let's not to. I love the conversation a bit here, but I want to make sure that we got about 10 minutes, I would say, before we got to get to Juan's retro rec. So let's try to barrel through these. There's still a few left to go. And chat room, guys, we are watching the stuff that you're talking about too, and great nominations for there, even though they're not on the list. Okay, best audio design, recognizing the best in-game audio and sound design. Cuphead's not on this list, by the way. Destiny 2, Hellblade, Resident Evil 7, Legend of Zelda, and Super Mario Odyssey, which apparently is in every category, those two.
Yeah.
All right, quickly go through these. Peter.
I don't know. I haven't played half the games. I would say Destiny.
Okay. Matt?
I've played Destiny 2, so Destiny 2.
All right. Frankie?
I've watched enough of streams of it to say that I comfortably would pick this game. It'd be Hellblade.
If I would have played, I might have picked that one too, from what I've heard, but I don't know enough about it to make that decision.
I know Super Cooper's a big Hellblade fan.
Mm-hmm.
Juan?
Zelda. I'm not a huge fan of the music compared to the previous Zeldas, but the ambient sounds and the sound effects of the things that you do and that's pretty solid.
Yeah, remember, this is not music. This is sound. This is everything else.
Mm-hmm.
Sound effects, sound design. I'm going to be honest with you. I hadn't yet played any of these, so I'm going to abstain from this. So, all right. Best performance awarded to an individual for voiceover acting, motion, and/or performance capture. Melina Juergens for Hellblade. Laura Bailey for Uncharted: Lost Legacy as Nadine Ross. Claudia Black, Uncharted: The Lost Legacy as Chloe Fraser. By the way, Melina was Senua. Brian Bloom, which I did not realize that's who BJ Blazkowicz was in Wolfenstein 2. If anybody has seen the movie The A-Team, you know who Brian Bloom is. And Ashley Birch, Horizon Zero Dawn as Aloy. Peter.
It's a toss-up between BJ Blazkowicz and Aloy. I don't know. I'm going to say Aloy.
Okay. Fair play. Matt?
I'll have to go with the person from Horizon Zero Dawn.
Ashley Birch?
Ashley Birch.
Yep.
Yeah.
Frankie?
Melina.
Very nice pick as well. Juan?
Ashley Birch is going to win, but if I had my pick, it would maybe either be, and I wish I could remember her name now, but the voice actress for Rachel Amber in Life is Strange, Before the Storm, or I would seriously consider giving either, oh God, I don't know any of the actors' names for these characters, unfortunately, but from Halo Wars 2, Isabel and or Captain Cutter.
Okay.
But Isabel, I think Isabel does an amazing job in that.
Yeah. I'm gonna buck the trend a little bit. I'm going with Brian Bloom. The only reason is Aloy was a little stiff for me. I liked her. I didn't. Mm-hmm. I don't like her. She was a great character, but again, just Blazkowicz's character, man, is just off the charts, and so some of his dialogue was just really, really killer.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna go with Brian Bloom. All right.
It's possible in the actual vote, that's who I voted for. But
there you go. All right, games for impact. For a thought-provoking game with a profound pro-social meaning or message. So games for impact. Please Knock on My Door. Night in the Woods. Life is Strange Before the Storm. Bury Me, My Love. What Remains of Edith Finch. And Hellblade. Peter.
I haven't played any of the games, so.
All right. You may abstain. Matt.
Yep.
I'll go with. This is a hard one. I'll go with Hellblade. What the hell?
Okay. What the hell, Hellblade? Frankie.
Edith Finch.
I kind of figured you were headed that direction. Juan.
Life is Strange.
I actually kind of figured you were heading in that direction.
Yeah, it lacks a little bit of the bullying message thing that the first one carried some, but it's still, a fantastic look at people's interactions with each other, and how that can shape them. So yeah, no, definitely my pick.
Gotcha. Okay. I also have not played these games, so I will also abstain. All right, best ongoing game, awarded to a game for outstanding development of ongoing content that evolves the player experience over time. This is going to be a damn good category, let me tell you, because these are every one of these games is a winner of this. Warframe, which I have played, Rainbow Six Siege, Overwatch, Grand Theft Auto Online, Destiny 2, and PUBG. Whoever wins this, every single person in this category deserves it. But Peter,
I would say GTA, simply because it's ongoing for a very long time, and they keep on adding DLC to it to,
okay,
make it fun and keep people coming back and buying the game over and over again.
All right, Matt.
You'd be surprised of me saying this, but I'm surprised Overwatch is on this category. But I will go with Grand Theft Auto. Definitely.
All right.
All-time classic favorite of mine.
All right, Frankie.
Destiny 2, just because knowing their track record, I know what that game's going to evolve into over time, and that's what I want it to be, so Destiny 2.
Fair.
Yeah, it's still kind of strange, though, because it came out this year, so it's not ongoing.
This is true.
Yet.
It's a fair point.
That's a fair point, too. Juan.
The only one I played is Grand Theft Auto, and I refused to vote for it on the principle that everything they did with that killed all the single-player DLC for it. So
Yes.
that's them. And I abstain.
Okay.
That's a confirmed thing now, too.
Yep.
Yeah.
It wasn't obvious.
Right. I'm actually for the experience going to go with Rainbow Six Siege. They have supported the crap out of that game. So
That's true.
Yeah.
And now with the third year content, so
yeah. So I'm
it's definitely ongoing.
Yep, I'm going that. Do we need to do best mobile game? I would think not.
Oh.
No.
No, because there will be every Switch game on there.
Right. Do we need to do best handheld game?
Metroid.
Oh.
Metroid: Samus Returns.
That's
Mario Kart 8D.
That's not on here. It's
I know.
Poochie and Yoshi's Woolly World, Monster Hunter Stories, Metroid: Samus Returns, Ever Oasis, and Fire Emblem Echoes: Shadow of Valentia.
Definitely Metroid.
Yeah, that's your winner.
Okay. Best VR AR game. Let's run through these real quick. Super Hot VR, Star Trek Bridge Crew. I don't think anybody plays that, do they? Lone Echo, Echo Arena, Farpoint, and Resident Evil 7. Peter, you have VR.
Farpoint.
Okay.
Fantastic.
Yeah, I kinda figured you
fantastic. Fantastic shooter. Very immersive. Love
Frankie,
it.
you're the other one with VR.
Super Hot.
Okay. I kind of figured you'd say that, actually.
Yeah.
All right, let's keep moving. Best action game. Prey, Neo, Destiny 2, Cuphead, and Wolfenstein 2. Peter.
Wolfenstein.
Matt.
Destiny 2.
Frankie.
Wolfenstein.
Juan.
Pray.
I kind of figured you'd say Prey.
Oh, yeah, you kind of
I
have to put it as an
haven't-
action game.
I haven't played.
I'm
Prey
really
yet,
hoping
so
for an
I'm
X
not-
patch. I'm really hoping for an X
I
enhancement.
know you
on
are.
that.
You tweeted them, too. I'm going to say Wolfenstein 2 as well. Best action adventure game. Uncharted Lost Legacy, Assassin's Creed Origins, which just made the cut, Legend of Zelda, Super Mario Odyssey, Horizon Zero Dawn. Peter.
If I would have played Assassin's Creed, I would have picked that one, but I have not started yet, so I'm going to pick Horizon Zero Dawn.
Matt.
I'll go with Horizon Zero Dawn 2.
Frankie.
Horizon.
Juan.
Smo.
Kind of figured. I'm also going Horizon Zero Dawn. All right, best role-playing game. South Park Fractured But Whole, Final Fantasy 15, like that's not going to win, Divinity Original Sin 2, Nier Automata, or the only game that I think is going to challenge it, Persona 5. Peter.
Final Fantasy?
Yeah. Matt?
South Park.
Okay. Frankie?
Yeah, I agree. South Park.
Yeah,
The
that
game's
is
awesome.
If it's as good as Stick of Truth, I might go there. Juan.
The Project Octopath Traveler demo, or maybe Battle Chasers.
Battle Chasers should be on there.
Yeah.
I, believe it or not, have played none of these, so I don't care. Best fighting game. Tekken 7, Nidhogg 2, Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite, Injustice 2, or ARMS. Peter, do you care?
I have not played any of them, but I've seen Matt playing a lot of Tekken 7, and I heard him play Tekken 7 in the background with all his button mashing and stuff. I'm going to say pick Tekken 7.
We do hear a lot of that. Go ahead, Matt.
Yeah, I'm going with Tekken 7.
I kind of
Hell yeah.
figured you would. Franklin.
Injustice 2.
Juan.
I'm abstaining, but if anyone votes ARMS, we can't be friends.
Yeah,
That's totally
we'll have
fair.
No arms.
I'm going to go with
We'll have
Tekken
no
7 too, only because Matt. Although
Yeah.
I've watched Injustice 2 on TBS Esports. I hate to say it. All right.
You have everything that's wrong with the world.
All right. Best family game. Splatoon 2, Sonic Mania, Mario and Rabbids, Mario 8 Deluxe Kart 8 Deluxe, and Mario Odyssey. Peter.
Mario Kart.
Matt.
Splatoon.
Frankie.
Mario Kart.
Juan.
God, I want to say Mania, but I gotta go Mario Kart.
Well, I'm going to go Mania. Only because my son and I have actually played it together. So,
And because you're a Sega fanboy.
well, there is that. Moving
It was
on.
right there, though. Right there.
Right there. Moving on. Best strategy game. We're going to get through this. XCOM 2, Tooth and Nail, Total War, Warhammer 2, Halo Wars 2, and Mario and Rabbids Kingdom Battle. Peter.
Halo Wars 2.
Matt.
Halo Wars 2.
Frank A.
The worst 2.
And Juan.
It's the only one I played, but everyone knows I love it.
Yep. All right. Best sports and racing game. Project Cars 2, Pro Evolution Soccer 2018, NBA 2K18, GT Sport, Forza Motorsport, and FIFA 18. Peter.
Forza.
Matt.
I still wish they kind of split it in like sports and racing.
Yeah, this is
because racing, unless it's like Formula One,
Nah, this is how
that's more sports
yeah,
based.
this is
but
the,
then it's
this is the bullshit that got Rocket League to win the first year. So I got you.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
all right,
Peter, it's called
Forza.
GT Sport.
Witty Mass is right. Coleco comes before Sega. Got to go with that. Matt.
I'm definitely going for Forza.
All right, Frankie.
Forza.
Juan.
You know.
I know.
Yeah.
Never know.
All right, very good.
Project Cars.
All right.
Yeah.
Best,
GT Sport.
best multiplayer. Here we go. Fortnite, Call of Duty World War II, Splatoon 2, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, Destiny 2, and PUBG. Peter.
Call of Duty.
All right. Okay. Matt.
COD.
Frankie.
Mario Kart.
Juan.
Same. Mario Kart.
All right. I haven't played any of them.
So you're gonna pick Destiny just because?
All right. I think this is the last one we're gonna do. Well, last couple we're gonna do. Most anticipated game presented by McCafe.
Disgusting
Oh,
category.
sweet.
Yeah, I know. Last of Us Part 2, Red Dead
Which
Redemption
is-
2.
Last of Us Part 2. When are we going to see that?
Yeah, why is that even on there?
I don't know.
It's going to be on there next year, too.
Oh,
It
fam.
ain't going to come out next year.
Monster Hunter World, Spider-Man, and God of War. Peter, which is your most anticipated game?
Sea of Thieves.
Exactly.
Well done, sir. Matt.
Definitely
Sea of Thieves.
It's not on the list, guys.
But it's a good choice.
NLG Rebellion.
Frankie.
My true pick is Monster Hunter, but because I know when I'm going to get that, the game that I really want to play, I don't know I'm going to get, is Spider-Man.
Sure.
Juan.
Project Octopath Traveler.
You guys are totally screwing
it.
this up for me. All right. I'm going with Spider-Man, though. I do. I'm good. Okay. Best indie game. Here we go. Pyre, Night in the Woods, Cuphead, What Remains of Edith Finch, and Hellblade. Peter.
Cuphead.
Matt.
Cuphead.
Frankie.
Edith Finch.
Juan.
It's a draw. I can't decide between Cuphead and Edith Finch. They both do what they want to do so perfectly. I can't do it. I'm going to cut the baby in half.
All right. What Remains of Cuphead Finch?
Yep.
I'm going to go with Cuphead. I don't care about best student game. No offense, students. Trending gamer. Don't care about you guys either. Sorry, guys. Ooh, this one's for Frankie. Best esports game. Yeah, let's pass that.
Yeah.
Although,
No, that's more for you, isn't it?
Yeah.
Just pick Injustice 2.
All right. What's not on the list?
Oh, well, it's a
Rocket
fake
League,
list.
League of Legends, Dota 2, CSGO, and Overwatch are on that list.
I feel like Rocket League's a really good. What'd you say, TBS or TNT? What are you watching?
TBS.
TBS. That's a good fit. TBS, Rocket League.
Yeah. Best esports, best debut indie game presented by Chick Hydro.
Yes.
Slime
Hydro,
Rancher, Mr. Shifty, Hollow Knight, Golf Story. Actually, I gotta play that because that looks cool. And Cuphead.
Yeah.
Peter, give us one.
Cuphead.
All right, this is best debut indie game. Matt,
Cuphead for sure.
Frankie.
I haven't played any of these, so the one on here that intrigues me the most is Hollow Knight.
Okay, you didn't play Cuphead yet?
No.
Wow. Okay.
Damn. Messed around with it for 5 minutes.
Now,
but I haven't,
Juan,
like,
I think we need to boot him off
I
the
know.
show so
Now-
he can play some Cuphead.
Now, Juan, Slime Rancher is on this list. Just so
I know it. I know. I'm thinking about it too. I mean-
that one has to win because doesn't Chick like shaving cream and Slime Rancher?
Yep,
So
fair
what's on
enough.
there?
Yeah,
You know
no,
what's on there?
that game is vastly underrated. It's a real charmer. It's great. Is it better than Cuphead though? I mean, man, I love the guys over at Monami Park. Tweet with them. They're great. I gotta go Cuphead though. It's about perfect.
All right. And Witty apparently is madly in love with Andrea Rain. So I just wanted to point that out. So
She shouldn't be in there. She was the GameStop lady forever.
I
Yeah,
know.
no,
She's
that's
not a
just weird.
trending gamer. I don't even know
She's
who
also
I don't even know who
What
these
is
other
a
people
trending
are.
gamer?
I don't know. I don't care. For a
She's
for a
also
streamer
engaged
I mean,
with John
I've been
Drake.
trending, but just because people were, discussing
hold on.
with me.
For a streamer, right, you are the trending gamer this year,
that's
Juan.
what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Hey, what's up, Food? It's good to have you. You're a little late, but it's okay. Trending gamer for a streamer, influencer, or media member who has made an important impact on the industry this calendar year. Not a single one of them had any impact on anything I have done in gaming this year. Sorry.
I haven't even heard of any of them this year until this list came out.
All right, so this is your game awards, guys. Yay. Okay, what else can you possibly say? The Game Awards is going to be on December 7th, and we'll talk about it after it's done, I'm sure. So,
Yep.
all right. Frankie, you still hanging in? Because we're almost there. I promised, even starting late, I think I can get us there.
I know how this works. I deliberately told you an earlier time on purpose, right? You know that. I knew if I told you really like 11:30, 11:45, like no, we're gonna push it to midnight. So
No.
if I bumped it off 15 to 30 minutes,
I promise you, I want to show you something. I want to show this to you. I am running. You can't see the screen. I am running a stopwatch. I was serious about it. I was absolutely serious.
Yes.
You guys don't think that I listen to you, but I honest to God do. I really wanted to try to get you guys. I know he can't say anything, but I hate Juan's job, and I know he's got to work early in the morning, and I know you've got stuff ramping up.
Madness.
So
it's madness.
I'm trying my freaking best.
It only
so-
took
We're like
100
six-
episodes to finally get that timer going.
It's like 60 minutes.
All right, so we have come to everyone's favorite part of this show. It's the other reason that the NLG podcast exists, and we're going to try something a little different this time, simply for frame rate purposes. Because just a little dirty little background secret. all this stuff that you see on the screen is fantastic, and we love how our layout looks. But it does come at a cost. The show can only chug along so much. So in the past, the videos have been a little choppy, and I've been working on trying to figure out how to make that better. So we're going to try something, see if it works, and if it does, this is how we're going to do the Juan's Retro Rec going forward. Plus, we want to showcase these games a little bit nicer. So without further ado, we're going to move over to stage right.
I've really enjoyed this whole project, going back to some of these. Yeah, I mean, these are some great games.
By the way, you will find that I changed up. I finally got some new ones in there. I can't take that out, though.
Yeah, it has to stay.
Oh, yeah.
PS1 action.
Yeah, I probably need to slow that one down a little bit.
Best turtle, by the way.
No.
Just saying.
His name's not Donatello. All right. Give me a second. I'm going to switch over to the rec itself, and we're going to see how this goes.
Yes.
The floor is yours, my friend.
All right, so for the 29th retro recommendation, we're going to do June 2004 with Xbox. You go ahead and kick it off. It's the Chronicles of Riddick: Escape from Butcher Bay. It was developed and published by, developed by Starbreeze Studios and Tagon Studios. Starbreeze was founded in 1998 in Sweden, and they produced Enclave and Knights of the Temple before cancellations of other projects and conflicts with publishers caused them to be in a strict financial crisis. Their fourth game, Escape from Butcher Bay, established a rep for them for making good licensed games. Later successes came with Payday 2 and Brothers: A Tale of Two Sons. They're currently working on a VR headset project, Star VR. Tagon Studio is kind of an interesting thing. It was founded in 2002. It's primarily focused on games featuring Vin Diesel, who also founded the company. Their games Wheelman, Chronicles of Riddick, Assault on Dark Athena, and Riddick Merc Files on mobile. Right? Publisher was Vivendi Games, formerly Vivendi Universal, founded in 2001. They own the rights to everything Blizzard and many of Sierra Entertainment's. So when they merged with Activision to form Activision Blizzard, of course, it's huge and monolithic, and we don't have to talk about all their stuff. So the gameplay here is a single-player action-adventure stealth game, so very much what modern gamers say they want. At least, single-player action-adventure. Primarily first-person perspective, but it does go third-person for occasional events like platforming and climbing and such. Unlike many first-person games, it's got a really uncluttered HUD. It doesn't really have a lot on the screen. You'll get occasional flashes on the side. If you change a weapon, you'll see the weapon you're changing to before it appears in his fists, or you'll see the health bar when you get healed or damaged. But it does star Vin Diesel. Actually, a lot of people in it. It's got Ron Perlman. It's got Exhibit. It's got Cole Hauser, of course, reprising his role as Johns from Pitch Black. The player controls Richard B. Riddick as he attempts to escape the Supermax Butcher Bay prison, which is established on a barren world and consists of 3 maximum security wings of increasing security and a mining operation. The combat is first person, largely at the start with fists, clubs, shivs, because the guards' weapon systems, shotguns, rifles, such, have a DNA lockout. So if you're not in the DNA database, it gives you a jolt and you can't pick up the weapons. And so the game starts out with Riddick being brought to Butcher Bay by Johns and quickly assimilates into prison life and starts trying to acquire a weapon, and it turns out to be a fix by the head gang member. and that's going to be a plot point for him to take care of before he can kind of move on with the story. The combat, when you're doing the first-person melee, was kind of a new thing. There wasn't a whole lot of that going on at the time, and it was actually inspired by Punch-Out, according to the developers, and it's a little bit to get used to. You use the left stick to change your combo, and you can right and left punch. The left trigger blocks right trigger attacks, and then you have to kind of work with that and the right stick for your looking. So changing up your rights, your lefts, your uppercut and such. And the block is only good for enemies that you're actually facing. So they have to be on the screen to affect the block, or being outnumbered can be a problem. So you have to watch your positioning. But good part of the first part of the game is fisticuffs and or brass knuckles, shiv blades, improvised weapons, screwdrivers, things like that. And eventually I figured out a little bit of combo action here and lit these two goons up and was able to progress with the story. I think one of the high points of the story is Vin Diesel, actually, because I'm a big fan of Pitch Black. I like the movie, and the character is the character. And when you bring the guy who worked with the director David Twohy on the movie to create the character, it really brings that flavor to the game. And so the voice acting is really good for it. He actually had a hand in the dialogue because he would trim the dialogue. Vin Diesel would take dialogue lines out because he felt the character was talking too much, and it's kind of his character, so he would know. As part of the combat, once you get your stuff in a line and you're going after the head of the gang, another thing that I mentioned here was you can get a counter in. You can intercept a punch or a weapon. If it's a guard with a shotgun trying to butt stroke you with the shotgun, you can actually turn it on him and pull the trigger, so that's kind of cool.
He should get that money from you, Riddick.
The story is linear, with side quests that are given by fellow prisoners to get items, collectibles, like cigarette packs that unlock concept art and things like that.
Man, you look like
the Riddick can enter a stealth mode by crouching. This allows him to move silently and hide in the dark. Approaching enemies unseen allows a stealth kill, so it's a quiet one-hit kill, as does dropping on them from above. So if you're hanging from a ceiling or crossing pipe or something, you can get a stealth kill from a drop. At a later point in the game, Riddick gains his eye shine, his trademark eye shine, which lets you see in the dark, and the effect is really cool. Unfortunately, I didn't have time to play a save long enough to get to where you could see it, but it's got a pretty cool effect and allows you to have that advantage in the dark. Later in the game, you manage to submit your DNA into a system that puts the DNA in the database, so you can pick up guards' weapons, and then you get into first-person shooting, pistols, rifles, shotguns, grenade launchers, all that kind of stuff. So you got that kind of mix of stealth combat, melee, first-person shooting, puzzles. I mean, it's got a lot of gameplay elements that tie together pretty nice, actually. It's set in the sci-fi setting of the Chronicles of Riddick. Takes place before Pitch Black, which is why he gets his shine here. And if you're a fan of Pitch Black like me, he talks in that movie about how he got his eye shine in prison, and this is part of that story. Unlike many games that tie into films, it doesn't attempt to follow the action of any of those movies. It took the opportunity to tell the other part of that story. It was developed in just 18 months, which is pretty crazy when you think about today's stuff. Vin Diesel, as I said before, had a hand in the dialogue, cutting it out because he thought Riddick was talking too much. A PlayStation 2 version was actually in the works, but it was canceled during production to allow the company to focus on just the Xbox version of the game. It was received really well critically, and while it wasn't a complete financial success for the company, it did kind of put them back on the map from the troubles they were having. Metacritic had it at an 89, and it's 88 on Game Rankings. The visuals, gameplay, and voice acting were all acclaimed. And the visuals actually were, you're looking at this on OG hardware. This isn't like OGBC or anything like that. And for its day, the normal mapping of textures, the facial features, and the look of Vin Diesel himself is all pretty well done, pretty impressive. IGN later named it number 12 on their list of top 25 best original Xbox games. Game Informer named it 8 on their list of 25. And it was GameSpot's Game of the Year for 2004. So really well critically acclaimed, and I think a great a great candidate, I think, for OGBC. I'd love to see that go back and get that enhanced on that. Availability is really quite readable. You can find a copy really easy for less than $10. So it's a total worthwhile addition to an Xbox collection if that's something you're building. Or, like I said, if it does hit the OGBC, I would expect that price to go up. I guess the only downside to it is, it's a game of its time, so there's no multiplayer, it's kind of linear, and it's about 15 hours. But like I said, for $10, I think it's a great add to anyone's Xbox collection.
And I thought you might like to see that in 2004, I had the pleasure of reviewing the game for NLG, and let's see. Oh, it still holds on. Every once in a while, it still hangs on to pictures and stuff, even though this is the web.archive.org. Mm-hmm. I love the fact that I could still find some of this stuff. I had a couple of movies, which I still have these movies, by the way. Let's see. I said presentation was mixed bag. What did I give it? 87 was my score. So.
Yep, that's about right.
Yeah, I say they know how to take a movie. If Vivendi knows how to take a movie license and make a good game out of it, and now there's
not many licensed games I would put above it.
Yeah, and playing the game does not ruin the movie if you hadn't seen the movie. So,
true.
Yeah. All right, so I just wanted to show that as well. Every once in a while, when you have an Xbox game or a PlayStation game that I usually go looking for it to see if one of us reviewed it back then.
Sure. It's interesting how often we're pretty close on where we land with it too.
Yeah, we are. So, as always, man, fantastic stuff.
Well, I appreciate it. Like I said, I said earlier, it's been great going back and seeing these. I actually hadn't played this one since probably the year, since probably 04, 05. So it was really kind of interesting to go back because I had kind of forgotten how good it is, and so it's one I'm thinking about doing as a full playthrough at some point here soon, especially if it goes OGBC. I'm kind of leaning towards when my ex comes back to do something with maybe KOTOR, because I'd already done the Ninja Gaiden and the other one. But yeah, that's if this goes OGBC, I'll definitely do a full playthrough on it.
Okay. Very, very cool. All right. So, man, even with the nasty audio glitch, we made it. So we've only actually gone 2 hours.
Yep, we'll take it.
Yeah, definitely.
Not bad.
So, guys, thank you so much for being part of NLG. Peter, 50 plus podcasts. Juan, 40 plus podcasts. Matt, you've been a part of a couple. Frankie goes back a couple years now, and yeah, I think so. I think you might be, because Peter's almost a year and a half, and I think you're almost 2 years, man.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think it was the end of yeah, you're right.
So, yeah, I love you guys, all of you, and it's great. It is absolutely great to have you, Frankie. We're gonna miss you through the holidays, but however, we will be listening to Short Pause Gaming. And
I ain't gonna be on there either. No, Saturday's gonna be my only night off, maybe. So I'm probably just gonna be sleeping all day.
Oh, and you have your lovely wife to take care of.
Yes, exactly. Yep. So yeah, that'll be my weekend. She's off. We'll probably be going out to dinner and Christmas shopping, because
as it should be.
Yeah. Nice.
As it should be. Yeah. So.
Yeah, but I assume once that's all done, I'll hop back on. Hopefully, I'm back in time when you start talking about your favorite games of the year, so I can talk more about Doom. But yeah, when that episode happens, I hope I'm around, because I have a lot of stuff I want to talk about.
And happy Thanksgiving, everyone.
Yes.
Yes.
In the podcast.
Happy Thanksgiving. Now, I am not sure if we are doing one next Sunday or not, because I know Peter's out of town, and obviously it is Thanksgiving weekend. I don't know what everybody's plans are, who's going to be home, who's not. I'll be around, but...
I'll be around.
If we do a podcast, I can be on.
Okay.
At least I make an
Take that,
attempt.
Nate.
Yeah.
Okay. Well then, say that again, Frankie.
Said, take that, Nate.
Yeah. So, all right. So we'll plan on a podcast next week then. And if it doesn't work out, we'll let everybody know. But 101 and beyond. So, hey guys,
Just save the video from the last one and put that up next week for episode 101.
Yeah, we gotta have that. We gotta have that loop.
yeah.
We gotta have
Hey, you know what?
Yeah.
I'm considering holding on to that first video. I'm not gonna delete it. I think I'm gonna hang on to it because that was the greatest. That was the greatest first 5 minutes I think ever. Oh my God! So
We're like, what happened? Who's doing that?
And by the way, another shout out. He jumped in really late. The gaming buffet, food and Sincere, who he does the Fresh Gamers, and he's got a great podcast of his own. We're gonna have them on very soon. And Sincere and I have begun just tweeting back and forth talking about boxing. Because I love to I loved old
the sweet side.
Oh yeah, but I'm talking the Tyson the Riddick Bowe era. The my favorite one of my top boxers of all time is Evander Holyfield. So getting through to talk to somebody about boxing. So those guys are really cool. I've been on their show too, and much love and support to them. But hey guys, you guys in the chat room, thank you so much. And Daz, you hung out the whole time, brother.
Yeah.
So, to our new folks, Abacab72, welcome. And I know there were a couple of other new ones we mentioned earlier. Hope you guys enjoy the show. Hope you guys will come back and hang out with us. But you guys are the reason that we're here, and we love you guys so much. Seriously. So, all right, gentlemen. Everyone have a happy Thanksgiving. All right? Be safe. You're getting out there on Black Friday. Be safe. Be safe. Any last words before we head out? I know that sounds horrible.
Thank you guys for allowing me to be
Matt.
on the podcast.
Welcome back, brother. This was you. Yeah, man. You're great. You brought it tonight.
I appreciate it. I missed you guys, and to be able to be on here on a special milestone is just it warms my heart. It really does.
Matt,
Glad to have you, buddy.
it was our pleasure, brother.
Yeah.
You are always.
Even though I feel like I haven't left, it's still really great being here.
I know, and I'm so glad. It's like I said last week, man. You're the worst quitter ever.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah,
I'm just gonna add you back to the intro video. Be done with it.
you might as well.
But
See, the thing is, the pressure is off now. He doesn't feel like he has to be here every week.
Yeah,
It doesn't
yeah.
have
No,
to
he
be
wants
on,
to
so
be
now he's
here
on
every
all
week.
the time.
I have to
Hey,
fall
guys.
asleep on the couch. I don't have to set the alarm for 8:30.
Yeah.
Nice. So no,
Hey, you guys add me back into the intro.
that's right. I still have your avatar, man. I still have your avatar. So you're Matt. You are always. We'll have you on again. You're always. You will always be part of NLG, brother. That's how we roll. So. All right,
Thanks,
everybody.
guys. I appreciate it.
Not a problem. Everybody have a great week. Again, happy Thanksgiving. We will see
Happy
you.
Thanksgiving.
Looks like we'll see you guys all next Sunday night, 9 p.m., except for Nate 9 and Frankie. We'll figure it out. 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Play on, gamers.
Game on.
Game on.
$15 Injustice 2 at GameStop. I'm gonna go pick up another copy.
Yeah, go with that.
It's not digital, no.
I prefer to get another digital copy.
True, you have to get up out of your chair to change discs.
Yeah, exactly. Starting to come around to that whole
I don't like
concept.
that. Yeah. Not a fan of the getting up thing.
All my discs are still packed away too, so I have to actually go and dig up a disc. Ugh.
Yeah.
Good night, everybody.